Green Bay just came in. They should have won. They did win, and now you're on to the next week, right? It's kind of you didn't really. I don't really think you take much from this game. Tuck Crest a dog. We all know that. But other than that, like it's fun to see McKinney continue to get interceptions. But another one, it's just like on to the next.
Yeah, every single season, if you're going to be a playoff team, you're going to steal wins at some point. This was when they stole. Great. You can't really take too much from it other than we need to play better. And we talked about that last week. Like, we got to play better. This week we are at home versus the Cardinals at noon. And the Cardinals, I mean, what's their record? Do they have 1 win or do they have 2? They're at 2. So they're 2-3. We are at 3-2. This is a team I think most people would say is better than what they thought they would be coming in. And it's just because the Cardinals make games ugly. They want to just play in the trenches and then let Kyler Murray run around and throw it to Marvin Harrison. Like, it's going to be an ugly game. They're going to try to run it. They're going to try to slow everything down and catch the Packers sleeping with Marvin Harrison Jr. Like, that's what this Cardinals team is going to want to do. And Packers need to be ready for that because the Cardinals are healthier. They're a better running team, in my opinion, than the Rams. And defensively, I think they're a little bit better. Like, you're not going to make that Jaden Reed throw with Budda Baker there, I guess. You know what I mean? Right. So we got to play a little bit better, but this is certainly another very winnable game against another NFC West team, which I think is great for this upcoming week.
Yeah, I agree. And it's another thing, right, where does like you mentioned, like there's names there. Kyler Murray, there's a James Conner, there's a Marvin Harrison. But honestly, what scares you on that offense? The whole fact is, to your point, is just let those receivers run, spaghetti routes and let Kyler Murray run around and make a play. So it's really easy to say, and it's every team who ever plays the Cardinals. Like the number one thing is just don't let Kyler Murray beat you with his legs. If you contain Kyler Murray, you put pressure on him. This is a really easy, winnable game in my mind.
It for sure is, but I mean that's what scares me.
Right.
Every Packers fan's been, abused by running quarterbacks enough over their years, where it's like, could Kyler Murray set the new quarterback record for rushing yards in a game? Yeah, it would definitely be against the Packers if it happens. But is it likely? No. But that's what scares me. Let's talk about the injury report coming in to the game, though. It's a lot more positive, I would say, than last week. So first injury report of the week, talking Wednesday. Devontae Wyatt did not participate today. We talked about that last week. I think he's out multiple weeks, in my opinion. But then it looks like everybody else at least practiced. We got limited participation from Christian Watson with an ankle, Carrington Valentine with an ankle, Luke Musgrave with an ankle, Jordan Morgan shoulder, Elton Jenkins knee, Edgerrin Cooper hip, Kenny Clark toe, Jair Alexander groin, and then Jonathan Ford, defensive lineman, is designated to come off of IR. Full participation from Aaron Mosby, Zach Tom, and Jordan Love's not even listed, which is a good thing. But yeah, it should be a relatively healthy Packers team this week. I think Jair Alexander has a pretty good chance to play. And while he doesn't match up very well size-wise with Marvin Harrison Jr., I would assume he takes on that challenge, don't you think?
For sure. For sure, and I guess what just kind of going off that, I'll say something that scares me is Arizona's wide receiver. Michael Wilson's been playing great this year. You're gonna see Eric Stokes this week. And Michael Wilson plays physical. He's a big guy. I could see him having kind of a big week here. But if Michael Wilson's the guy to beat you, then tip your cap. If you can take away Marvin Harrison, if you can take away Kyler Murray, I think you're doing fine.
Yeah, for sure. You just got to make sure it's not one of those games Kyler Murray had a couple of weeks ago where he had that perfect passer rating.
Yeah.
You just got to make him make tough plays. That's it. You can't just let him sit back and throw it to the open player because any receiver going up against the Packers' second, third cornerbacks are good enough to get open if you give them time to do so. Like, you got to rush Kyler Murray, but you have to rush him correctly. And that's where, this defensive line is going to have to be disciplined. And they're going to have to be a lot more effective as a group than they have been. Obviously, Kingsley Enagbare is quickly turning into one of the best players the Packers have on defense. Not worried about him. I'm worried about, Lucas Van Ness being a little bit disciplined, Rashawn Gary being productive, and I'm not worried about Kenny Clark either. Honestly, it's mostly just those two. But
Good,
yeah, you got to rush Kyler Murray correctly.
And good thing the Packers have the perfect inside linebacker for Kyler Murray, right?
Theoretically, Quay Walker doesn't do much well, but he is an athletic freak. Like, no one can disagree with that. You would assume you could have Quay Walker just shadow Kyler Murray, play spy, whatever you want to call it. Just have him be 2 to 5 yards off the ball, mimic Kyler Murray's motions, and just fly to wherever the ball is. That's his job this week. Don't worry about another little thing. That's what I would do.
Don't worry about run
would assume
fits.
Halfley does the same thing.
Don't worry about pass coverage. Wherever Kyler Murray is, that's where Quay Walker needs to be.
Honestly,
the only little thing he has to worry about is Kyler Murray.
Right.
100%. And what's up, Diggs, in the chat? I have the Cardinals injury report as well. They had only one player not practice today, lineman Kelvin Beachum, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Hamstring injury there. Limited participation from Evan Brown, another lineman. Matt Prater has a knee injury.
Oh, interesting.
Didn't play last week. So obviously Packers know as well as anybody, if you have kicker injuries or a new kicker coming in, could certainly create some problems, especially on the road, especially against and in Green Bay. Darius Robinson, D lineman, was limited. Garrett Williams was limited. Full participation from Christian Jones, rookie lineman I like.
Yep.
And a player who I am kind of thinking is the X factor in this game. Packers need to stop him, and that's Zay Jones. Zay Jones is making his Cardinals debut. First game coming back from suspension. I think we will get him against Keyshawn Nixon a decent amount. And same thing as last week. I said the Rams are going to have success with Jordan Whittington. Packers need to stop him. They stopped him enough. And then we're going to have to stop Zay Jones. I think that's the guy I'm scared of. Michael Wilson's really good too, but I've seen Zay Jones play really good football.
He's got the most receptions in college football history for a reason.
That's true. That's a good point. Anything notable from the injury report you want to talk about, Janet, that stood out to you or anything like that before we get into like predictions and stuff?
It can't be as bad as last week, so I think we're good.
Correct.
Right.
We did fine. So the healthier people get, the better, and that's all. Like, honestly, I wasn't panicking last week either, so we should be fine.
Yeah. We actually play a healthier team, but we should be fine. It's the Cardinals. I will never be afraid of the Cardinals.
Yeah, that too.
Can't do it. Okay. So
when AJ Green just stopped playing in the last play of that game against the Cardinals 3 years ago, that was an incredible win.
Yeah, I agree. That felt good.
Yeah,
that felt really good. Where's AJ Green now? I hope he's fine. He disappeared so quickly, just from everything.